about the piece a little bit?
Oh, I will. We are in Latency Study number 2 on this platform. Latency Studies is a series of online events. We will display experiments realizing the consequences of Google Plus Hangout network performance to uncover any contrapuntal obstructions or transits the environment provides. The intent is to create a resource for artists who are considering latency as a material, latency as a problem, or a question. Today we will perform a new text score by Matthew Earnshaw. Matt's background is in physics, but they sometimes play musician. They run the net label speculationseditions.com. Oh my God. I had a feedback loop. My bad. Why would that? Okay. So, wait, why don't you guys just introduce yourselves real quick?
Okay, my name is Adriana. I live in California and play the flute.
Who's next? I'll go next. I just talked. I'm Anthony. I live in Philly and I play violin and other stuff.
Cool. I'm Jesse. I live in Oakland, California, and play the melodica.
Alrighty.
Here you go.
So here's our piece. It's for anything more than 2 players. It's for any instruments that can sustain a pitch, and as long as the ranges overlap. So what we do is we agree on a provisional maximum time limit for each round. Start with 2 players in the first round, and navigate toward the common pitch. And when you hit unison, the round ends. And of course, more constraints, parameters. No discussion of this pitch occurs. It turns out different in each round. The time limit is reached before the common pitch is established and the round ends. And the time limit may be adjusted for further rounds depending on the experience of previous ones. Repeat with additional players until there are no players left out. So let's just hit 2, then 3, then 4. Let's see. Do you want to do 30 seconds?
30 seconds?
Okay.
Does that make sense? Does something else sound more interesting?
Well, yeah, we can try with that and then decide if a longer duration is better.
That's 30 seconds per round, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, 30 seconds is fine for now. If we want more, we can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. So who's going first? I'll be the last to join. I'll be the 4th, but the first 2. Who will it be?
Well, I guess it'll be me and Anthony. Looks like.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, I'll look at the clock. In fact, you guys don't even worry about the clock, right? But I'll look at it.
Right.
All right, cut. That was like I let it go a little longer. The sound was haunting, wasn't it? Oh my
Yeah.
God, Adriana,
Yay.
you're hearing it with me, like
Yes.
wow. Wow. I'm hearing a noise. I don't know what it is.
I know. As soon as Jesse started playing, it was just like it popped up.
No.
Maybe with the mixer, we can use the mixer that we used last time.
Oh, indeed. I'll certainly introduce that, the control room. And then the other thing we'll introduce is turning the cameras off. But what did you guys think, just in terms of pitch? Like, did you know what unison even was? You know?
So do we stop as soon as we hit the unison?
I think you want to sustain it. Like
Okay.
you want to hold it out. But yeah, you could also interpret it as stopping. You know. Yeah, you can stop right then. So. Because I thought maybe unison was reached for like a few seconds and then somebody would leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting. All right, let's run it. Let's run it again. Let's make it 3 people, and I'm gonna turn everybody's cameras off.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool. Okay.
yeah.
All right, yeah, that'll be a cut. Okay, so what did you notice happen?
I couldn't hear when the other 2 people,
Yeah.
Jesse and Anthony, joined. It was hard for me to hear when we reach the the same note at and the unison. So I don't know if it's the sound, it was distorted, the sound I was receiving.
Yeah.
So I mean, I heard Anthony, and then we would just, oh, we reached that unison in this part, but with Jesse was difficult.
Really?
I have an idea. Let's see.
All right, so Jesse has an idea. But yeah.
I know. Perfect. Okay.
Cool.
She's closing the door. And see that helps.
That's pretty cool.
Well,
Yeah. Here's what's exciting. I'm actually getting an integrated signal, but like it was really having trouble having a stable integration of 3.
Yeah.
I was getting like a perfect weave, and not perfect, like very distorted and noisy, but this, like I heard it beating like it was like meat space harmony, you know,
Yeah.
between two at once, and then a third it could never really do that. And at the end, I really couldn't hear Adriana at all,
Mm.
like whatsoever. Like it wasn't
Well,
sending.
I stopped at some point because I couldn't determine which voice was showing us and if we really reached the unison, you know.
Oh,
So I was
indeed,
just
sure.
like,
So I just want to ask, like, how, you know, if you were doing this in meat space,
mhm.
it would be quite simple to say, like, okay, I'm just going to wait till I hear one person play a note. I'm going to match their pitch and wait till everybody else. Like, it's fairly easy to do it methodically and systematically. And if you're playing the game toward your incentive of making the game over, if that's your incentive, there's pretty like material things you can do to hope that, you know, the game ends as soon as possible. And, you know, if you have the good faith that other players are taking the same rationale,
Yeah.
it can kind of end like really fast. But, you know, in here it's not just the rationale of the players
Mm-hmm.
that decides how long it is. But like I just wanted to really throw that out there because try to have like a ghost like hypothetical iteration in your head of how you would do it with everybody in meat space, and then like question, you know, how we're doing it now, because right where those differences are, things might get kind of exciting.
Yeah, there's like an element of doubt that creeps into your decisions. Like,
Yes.
when am I hearing this, and is it, you know, is this pitch happening now, or did they just finish that? And I think it became infinitely more complicated when we added a third person, which is really interesting, because with two it was like fairly simple to match up. With three, the delay and the different screens dropping out makes it like a lot more multifaceted. So,
And distortion of the sound too. It's just like you are blindfolded, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful sound. Like, not gonna lie. Okay, so let me just see if I'm too loud. Can we just get like everybody just playing a note real quick?
sure.
Yeah.
These are beautiful harmonies. Okay, I think my amp is at a good volume. I just don't want to like overpower, but as long as I can hear, because it's only going to send like a limited amount through,
Right.
a volume.
It died in my computer.
Oh, your
Oh, no.
computer died.
No. I mean, I don't know. You were saying that something, and then I was off.
All right, so should I eject the other,
Yes, I
the now
think
dead
so.
Adriana? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There
So
you go.
I've ejected Adriana and accepted Adriana.
Okay.
All right, I think we're good in the control room, just leaving everything pretty.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm turning off videos again.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. And I let that one run like way longer than 30 seconds just because like I thought it sounded awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's it.
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's about. We weren't quite. I don't know. Was that actually unison, or was that just like as close as we thought we were gonna get?
I still have some problems to, to distinguish the voices. I can
Uh-huh.
hear Jesse better now. It
Yeah.
was definitely way better, the sound. I don't know why you guys think, but it was way better. But still, I have the problem to, to see. I heard you a lot, because you have the amplifier. But it was difficult for me to distinguish when Anthony was playing or Jesse to try to
Hmm.
follow up. I think I heard sometimes Jesse, sometimes Anthony, and definitely you. So yeah,
I'm finding the melodica and the violin after all the filtration
yeah.
are like very similar timbres.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mm.
sometimes I couldn't tell if I was hearing myself or if I was hearing Anthony, and so that introduced this doubt of like, am I matching this pitch or am I just playing myself and pitch?
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Interesting.
Cool. So I can turn down if I'm overpowering. These damn guitar players, they're always like overpowering and like insensitive to their amps. Um,
Right?
the it's very exciting. It's problematic because like we're not playing the piece. We're just like frustrated that we're not hearing more than two people at once. Um, But what's exciting about that is I think like two modules of the piece actually start existing where
Yeah.
me and Anthony are like we're set on this one pitch and me and Anthony are in unison and then Adriana's like a major six down and we're like why is she doing that? I think it's because she's actually hearing something different. She's getting a different integration of the signals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it sounded very different to me than like what you or Adriana described with like in terms of the mix I got. Because I think we're all getting different.
That's so deep. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for us all to record our signals? Because the only one that's being streamed is Quinn's.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So it might be interesting. Maybe not this time, but some other time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to look into. And when we're connecting to like external interfaces, USB interfaces, PA systems, microphones, like it definitely adds to that question. Very exciting. So I'm sure some questions are raised. Let me just briefly dive in here.
Hmm.
So we are at so we're in Google Hangout, which is like a program. It's an app. It's a platform. It's all these things. Blah blah blah. So when you're an individual user, pretty much the first thing it does is it splits audio and video. They're completely separate channels, 100%. So once it's into two, the video has a bandwidth control, and you've seen this. You've seen this up top. It's this thing. It looks like a Wi-Fi logo. And when you set the bandwidth all the way down, the video cuts out. The audio is not affected by bandwidth. It has completely nothing to do with bandwidth. So when I actually turn the video off, I'm actually like making bandwidth irrelevant. So big thing it does, band limited to approximately 80 to 16K hertz. And then we're on server. And just an overview real quick. This is essentially the paradigm where the server, which is like the company, sends the document to your browser, and then you send stuff back to the server like a request, and then it responds. and this is known as like client side versus server side, like the paradigm of website like design and interaction and stuff. So here's like user client side in your browser, and here's when it gets to the server. So we're in the server. Our band limited signal is split into higher octaves and lower octaves, and now there's two separate sending methods for higher or lower octaves. This thing, a user datagram protocol, is time sensitive because dropping packets is preferable to waiting for delayed packets. This means that you use a datagram protocol, your lower octaves, you're gonna get more corrupted files, you're gonna get more distortion, you're gonna get more lost signal, but it's gonna show up on time. And that on time certainly matters when you're like syncing voice to the lips, for instance, in a spoken context. Your higher octaves are sent as transmission control protocol packets, and your TCP packets, they're more ensured that the files won't be corrupted. Did Adriana have something?
Oh yeah, I think. Let me see.
Oh dear. Well, she can just jump in. You can just unplug headphones, right?
Oh, it says Google Plus is not allowing her to be part of the call.
That's so weird. Weird.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay. Well, maybe. I mean, I'm kind of into like, how about just like for further rounds, it'll be you two together in meet space, because I wanted to try that anyway.
Okay, sure. We can do that. We can tell her.
Yeah, totally. I'll just like wait a second or two. There will be a problem with like their headphones, but.
Yeah, does he have any signal splitters?
I don't know. I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Yeah, we'll just give them a second.
Yeah. Well, this is how people know it's live, definitely.
Yeah. Live television, folks, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think is up with getting booted from the call? I wonder.
It wasn't letting me in at first, but I signed in and signed out and sent that.
I don't know. That really concerns me. People are getting booted from calls because of like membership, but I've made it essentially. Can you hear this? This amp noise here?
Yeah.
Maybe put it over here.
How are we doing? Are we all right?
Yeah, almost. Let's see.
No, there's just echo question.
Hi, sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
I don't know why he got me off from the thing. I don't know if it's the router or something. There? Yeah.
See.
Should I continue?
Yes, sure. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. And Jesse's good?
Yeah.
Yes.
I showed Jesse the slides earlier. So where was I? So this is something to think about. It's based on the history of like audio encoding and audio signal management that are in speech contexts. And if like the history of like electrical signals management, has like specific tendencies for human speech, for humans to recognize other humans speaking. So many of our instruments are tuned to that. And Hangouts is 100% in that tradition. And the reason it sends higher octaves that, they'll have less corruption, but less like specific time accuracy. The reason your higher octaves do that and your lower octaves are reversed, like that has to do with humans recognizing other humans speaking. So after it's split into these two separate different types of protocols, you have your acoustic echo cancellation protocol, and this is the part that disconnects feedback loops, manages echoes, and it is tuned for human speech. And so what this has to do with is that the type of sound that doesn't play into human speech and play into, what humans need to recognize each other speak, will always be transmitted poorly. Things that lie outside of that. And the AEC is not perfect. You have artifacts and noises because it gets things wrong sometimes. But this is like the central tuning that it wants to do. Yeah, and you can see I just copied from Wikipedia. Echo cancellation involves first recognizing the originally transmitted signal that reappears with some delay in the transmitted or received signal. Once the echo is recognized, it can be removed by subtracting it from transmitted or received signal. So this is what's going on, in the server side, and I have another arrow. We'll get to that later. And then back to the individual user's laptop. So yeah, being aware of everything it's doing is great. And then one thing, basically, if it knows it doesn't need to worry about echo, it actually won't go into this loop, which is great. So you can bypass all of this heavy computing just by having your hardware configured against loops. So even though, your MacBook will, you'll feel fine with your MacBook speakers and your MacBook microphone built in without plugging anything in, you'll feel like it's fine and it's correcting for it, but just know that it's actually doing more work server side to make it fine. So you can kind of, manipulate how much computing is going on by taking care of it by using headphones. So that's essentially. So anyway, what's happening is, when you have multiple users are sending to the server and sending back. So coming back to the individual user's laptop, and we'll be focusing on the user that's broadcasting, in this case, myself. If you were doing something like piping in offshore performers to a centralized location for the spectators. If the spectators are centralized, they may or may not be. You might have some spectators offshore. That would affect this. But let's say that most of our applications, your spectators are going to be centralized. That would mean you should only really focus on the broadcasting user. So however many people you're sending, here's like the final encoding for the broadcasted user. So participants are gated. Gate is activated by speech recognition, and you see this in the automated switching between users in a standard video call. Knocking, banging key clicks get transmitted a lot because it wants to be good at fast-paced conversations. And if you're in any boardroom, you're going to be picking up speed, interrupting each other if the conversation's exciting. And Hangouts wants to be good at this. Hangout wants to be good at that kind of conversation. It doesn't want to be designed just for like everybody, civil and following rules. It wants people, interrupting each other, like the Republican debates. And a consequence of that is the knocking, the banging, the key clicks. I think this could be really crucial. This is, that's a lot about design performance environments. Has many of the same considerations. Speech is really prioritized. Wideband sound is transmitted poorly. And in the competition between the gates, when you're competing for the gate's preference, non-speech probably won't win. And it wants one user to win over. Like in a conversation, constant interruptions, constantly pivoting what user is favored by the gate. This is doable, I would think. It would just be a little fickle, You wouldn't be able to guarantee exactly, what would happen, exactly how it would, integrate the constantly interrupting signals. I think from what it sounds like a model of, polyphony is smarter for this. It's smarter for this environment for your notion of polyphony to be, I don't know my late romantic analysis, but I think a notion of polyphony where the question of the leading of the main voice is different people interrupting each other rather than an integration of signals makes up the leading voice, and that integration is like that surface becomes the leading. I don't think that's necessarily viable here, but the notion of transmitting leadingness through interruptions, this is certainly the musical potential here. So finally, what you don't have, all compressing, packaging, and coding is server-side, and you can't crack it open, which was unfortunate. See, part of me was hoping that, if I'm Jesse, I obviously want to intercept the UDP packet and send it to my onboard super collider server and do shit with it. I obviously want to do that, and I just can't because it's as good as a black box in a certain way, because it's server side. And then the other thing is total control over bandwidth or over fickle networks, particularly with more and more participants. We try to control bandwidth, but as you mentioned when you and Adriana were on two computers, Jesse, it's literally loading the router in your house,
Yeah, he's no.
And we can't.
Companies. We don't want to say the name of the company.
We really. There's not a lot we can do in a certain sense, we just kind of have to deal with loading the router. And there's things you can do, like having a router, buying better. If you go to the venue and you say if you're supported by an institution, you go to the venue and you say hey, can we get stronger internet for a few weeks or for a month, during rehearsals and performances. Mm-hmm. You can do that and that would help, but even then, it's not a perfect utility right now. So that's what you don't have. What you do have, you have user bandwidth control, which amounts to really dropping video. Or even just having low video bandwidth if you want some video. I don't know. I'm really being vague and opening a lot of questions because there's tons of different ways an artist could could use some of these options, some of these parameters. Headphones, can't stress this enough. You reduce the AEC's workload, you reduce the entire server-side operation, you reduce all of its workload, which results in overall smoother performance. You input speech for a clearer signal, non-speech for a dirtier signal. This is very exciting for me. And then, of course, mixers, interfaces, microphones by USB. This will change things a little bit, change the way it's sending the signal. And then you go into system preferences on a Mac, specify what channels the sound card sends to Chrome. Anthony, I think what we were doing in Second Skull was we said it'll send left, Chrome will send to left channel, QuickTime will send to right channel, and then we were doing mono, so it didn't really matter at the end. But just getting out my computer out to USB, to the interface, to the mixer, it was send Chrome out left, send QuickTime out right. You can do that in system preferences. And then the admin user mixer plugin onboard in Hangouts. And that looks like, well, we've seen what that looks like. I'll do another screen share a little later of that. But that has a few options. And then there's actually, again, I totally dropped the ball. I didn't look into the Studio plugin. I literally said last time that I would look into. There's a Studio plugin that's even more than the mixer or control room. It's another plugin that's even. So yeah, that's essentially the scene. I mean, it takes a very creative artist to really use all these in a piece but just optimize what you're doing. And I think for me, I kind of like the idea of modeling Hangouts without Hangouts, I think we should try that. I think we should find ways for the even just totally in meat space, for the interactive questions to present something like the two different kinds of packets, like the UDP versus TCP, sure. And think of notions of signal corruption that are split across something like octaves. Think of the ways that's in our interactions, just a totally vanilla meat space environment. And then I just wrote just a personal recommendation. You want to compose your space by considering which spectators tuning in via whose signals need to hear what things. And the same question toward the performing artist. I mean, this is where it really, really picks up. Is there going to be an audience, with your offshore performers? Are the spectators totally centralized, or are the spectators in a variety of places? Do you want, the optimal signal to go to the broadcasting user, or for some reason to some other user? And how is the space of a user that's sending, how is that managed to send what kinds of things? You get the idea. So that's really what I have there. Yo, Dak, I almost had a sweet color change because it was
yellow for a second there.
Yeah, that's totally what I have with that. I hope that adds something here to the environment. I think with all that in mind, we can see something else about the potentials here. So we're at 318. I said I wouldn't go past 4. I definitely think we should explore a lot of things with the run-throughs here. If you have any other ideas for the run-throughs, and especially now that we have two people together in meat space, which I think has a lot of implications.
It is.
Let's just keep it at 30, but I'm not that concerned about the time limit. Let's do.
I'm more concerned about how we're gonna listen to you two guys.
You can share this.
Okay. We're gonna do experimenting here. So you guys are gonna be mono for us.
That's cool.
Okay. Maybe. Can you guys speak a little bit?
Speaking.
Hello.
What do you think? Yeah, Anthony sounds good.
Okay.
I think I want to start with Jesse and Adriana.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, honey. Ready?
That's a cut.
All right.
Yeah. See, this is totally. All right, let's introduce. All right, I'll go third since I went last time.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds right. Was I? Well, it depends on how much you could hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You thought that was a good way to end it, right?
Yeah.
This is just 30 seconds.
Was it 30 seconds? No, I thought it was kind of unison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's it? Well, we don't have the clocking here. This is like
Yeah.
like but
No, we got to the same pitch.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
But he
Sweet.
was meaning that way.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. So let's introduce. Let's go back up to 4. Let's bring Anthony in. I'm thinking there's something very different about it this time.
Yeah.
But let me cut out videos again.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think that like we have more power, so to speak, now because we can hear each other exactly, and there's not a doubt within this room as to what pitch is happening.
Yes.
So then that like there's like more confidence here than there might be in the room with just one people on the network. So that adds like a different dynamic of how the game works, I think.
Yeah, right. And when you power as in like power to play the game how you want to play it, and
right.
Yeah, and the capacity for your policies to be effective,
right.
to have real effects. Yeah, that's very interesting. That's a very crucial kind of power here. That we don't, Anthony and I might not have. Okay, let's do another one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a unison. I wasn't sure.
Oh.
I think I could hear everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some really interesting distortion on that one, where people were like coming in and out pretty rapidly, and it was hard to tell like what was just happening or what was like an artifact of what had happened before or whatever.
Cool.
What do you think, Anthony?
Uh, it was hard to hear Jesse. I think I just think that's a real problem because you're next to each other, so it's going to be competing for signal, and a flute's a lot louder. I think it'd be interesting if Quinn, you're a fish 42nd, right? Maybe. Do you think I could run up to you to see if we have two competing teams? Because
Yo, how far?
the way the signals are,
You're like 10 blocks away, right?
I'm down Balmore.
Yeah. No, you're like 6 blocks. It would take you like what, like 15 minutes?
Hmm,
And Adriana's got to leave early.
Yeah.
She's got a rehearsal.
I have a rehearsal.
Totally. It's a great idea, Anthony. I don't know if we should.
I mean, we shouldn't now because
Yeah, we should
don't
do it in
want
the
to.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely workshop this. We have a lot of opportunities to look at, ways to push it.
Because when I'm hearing Jesse and Adriana's team.
Yeah, no, I know what
yeah.
you're saying, and you're talking on the level of the competition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hear Jesse, but I hear him sometimes, and they're always at unison when I hear him, but I'm just assuming that they're at unison at the other times.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But that's a part of it. Like, you always have to. I mean, you always don't know those things about the other team. Is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess because we reach unison like pretty quickly.
Because I haven't heard.
Yeah. Like she can literally see what note
I'm
pressing.
not looking.
No. I mean, just like hypothetically.
I noticed you guys weren't looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, meat space is an extremely easy piece.
Yeah.
Totally. No, I love bringing that up, and I couldn't stress enough. This is like 101 principle to game theory is that like you don't assume that the other agents are rational. Like you have to. I mean, you do for certain things, but like you absolutely can. Develop your strategy based on the possibility that your opponents are irrational, and the fact that Anthony, what you just said, like I'm not hearing the melodica and the flute as together. I'm hearing just the flute, but I'm assuming the melodica. Like that's like the same thing. Like that kind of assumption, like thing is like, really crucial. It's a part of any environment. And then just on its more technical timbral note, Adriana, what if you did stuff like Aeolian tone?
That can, yeah. That can work.
To create some other kind of like nested timbre with the melodica,
Sure.
that would be less overpowering. So let's do another, just all four, I think.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I also forgot to turn the videos off, and it gave me a different timbre. I was hearing a completely different timbre in
Yeah.
terms of
Mhm.
the overlap and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the video adds like, because you see somebody is big on the screen, and you're like, oh, I need to listen to their pitch. They must be doing something prominent.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's completely a component of what's going on. I think we should go back to 2 and start with me and Anthony, and then see what's going on. The other thing, Anthony, is you can do some like timbral adjustments too. I did notice it's like harder to assess pitch when you're hearing Aeolian, right? Because Aeolian's a very complicated set of pitch information.
Yeah.
But yeah, uh, you know, and then like I also wanted to try to like actually do like creative like shit, like be a player, instead of just thinking like what pitch am I looking for, think of like how am I getting to these different options, and just
Right.
do like guitar player stuff, like not too much, but I don't know. It's an option. Let's think of it while we're here. All right, me and Anthony. There it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. So even when we're not like in the same room, we're like it's really easy to play with 2 people. So let's do one of you 2 over there in California
Okay, you want to go?
with me and Anthony.
Jesse.
I think we had it so quickly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was nice, and it sounded really. I liked the sound a lot. I thought it was cool,
Mhm.
which is part of why we played longer, I think. How's my sustain over there?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
But
Okay, because sometimes I wonder if like you'd be losing it, and that's why like I re-attack so frequently. But like,
Okay.
but I don't know, because it'd be really cool to not have to do that. But then I feel like I'm not really a part of it if I'm not re-attacking, because like my sustain if it feels weak here, it's like 100 times weaker over there.
No, it sounds good.
pretty.
No, that's cool. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all 4. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. I was actually gonna transform into this like because I think like it would be great to like when we find it, we actually feel like we're in a drone, you know?
Yeah.
That would be like a beautiful. I think we almost were there, and then I cut it off. But yeah, let's do another same thing. Wow, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
We're developing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We're becoming acclimated to each other. And to the
Yeah,
sound
we're getting
waves.
better at it.
And we're
Yeah.
developing strategies that we seem to be following all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then we problematize it, right? Once we get comfortable, we start being more musician-y, and
Right.
Yes.
we also be more new music-y. Like I'm hearing like flutters and airs and like I'm doing like harmonic and then bending up
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, and like I don't know. It was really nice though. And then the other thing is you can kind of use like harmonic relations to like kind of build up toward unison and like precede it. Like I was doing like when we were on, I was on my 7th fret harmonic for what I think was the best unison we had, and then I would leave it open, and it was kind of, I don't know, it was like giving foundation and shit to the environment.
Sure.
Yeah, I heard some interesting things where when you would attack, it would gate to your sound, but then it would come back to Anthony. So there would be like this multi-form thing where yours was the attack, but then the sustain was Anthony.
Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. I'm psyched. Do we need to go back to 2 or 3 again?
Guys, I apologize, but I have to run.
You're
I have to
running.
get ready.
You're running right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
I'm
totally
sorry.
awesome. Because we got a lot done. I mean, we're still under an hour and a half. I said it wouldn't go longer than an hour and a half, but we got it. We did some awesome shit. So we could. I figured while we're all here, maybe we could do the 3 of us, before we leave. But yeah, this has been really really exciting. I hope we get a chance to explore some of these questions.
Sure.
Sure, definitely.
And
Thank you so
you
much
know,
for the invite.
oh, thank you. Very exciting. Very very excited to have you as a participant.
Well, thank you, and see you next time. Bye, Anthony.
Bye.
Bye,
Good to
Chris.
meet you.
And when when Matt and Joanne and Alex watch this, you know, they'll have some ideas as well. Yeah, let's do real quick. Let's just hit it another one or two times. I mean, I don't really know extended techniques on the melodica very much, but how about Anthony and I get a little new music-y?
Yeah, I can flutter and does and
you do overtones. I mean,
tongues.
multiphonics.
I can do multiphonics, but I can do flutter tongues. That's about it. But.
Yeah. Because the other thing about this piece is like our oral skills training, you know, and like, well, I guess I ended up being the only like, you know, conservatory dropout. But like, if we were with people who had just like not conservatory, you know, like, it's the way you approach this is totally. This is one of the most like pedagogically shaped things. Is the way you approach finding a pitch and attempting to tune, you know. You know, there's a lot of different ways, and like what I like is a good meet space performance of this would show the different logics. Like if you had people from different trainings and no trainings, you know, and you were just watching them do it in meet space, you would see just like all the different logics that people have at finding a pitch, you know. It's quite exciting. I think it was a very clever move on Matt's part to write this. So yeah, but you know, introducing like more and more like, I hate this term, but I just use it. New music-y things. You know? It just really problematizes the question. So let's keep doing it. I don't know. Let's do maybe like two more goes. All right, I'm not gonna be that new music. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I thought that was great. I thought it was awesome, and I think, you know, Anthony was doing a lot of things, there's a lot of different content, but on essentially like a fundamental pitch.
Right.
And so I think we were actually kind of locked into, you know, we managed to get a unison in a way to the fundamental around which we were, and I was doing like a half step trill and stuff, and I don't know, I thought it worked. It worked really nice. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you.
Hi. Sorry I'm late coming in. How's it going on?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm really looking forward to you watching the video. We're actually going to do one more and then jump out.
Okay, great. Have you guys discussed it a lot? Or I mean, I guess it's good you've recorded this because I can watch it back. So.
Oh yeah, no, watch the video. Like, let me know. Definitely watch the video and write me. I'm really looking forward to your responses.
Great.
Yeah, we played the piece a lot. We discussed the piece. We discussed the environment. You'll see. So I forgot to turn cameras off that time. So let's do our last one. Let's let it run and have fun with it. Because the other thing I like to like, let's you know, like, in order to have fun with it, let's like run it to the end and then like problematize it. So like, all right, so Anthony,
Yeah.
if the piece ends, I want you to like ruin it, you know, and then start it over. So like, you know, redisturb it, and then we have to entropy again, you know. Let's just do that once, just to make it longer, since we're all here together and having a good time. All right, so let's start. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful cut. I mean, we could have kept going and that, but somebody would have because when you win, you if you get too comfortable, you might, depending on. And Matt, I'm so sorry that you saw us totally butchering it, but we were faithful to it for a while, for many iterations.
Sure, no, I like that. Yeah, that was cool.
We totally ran with it, though. We edited the scores. But we did faithful iterations. Faithful iterations for sure.
No. I'm much more interested in hearing a slightly irrelevant, slightly irreverent kind of rendering of the score than a supposedly faithful one. Yeah, I welcome this.
Very beautiful, very indeed. Very beautiful, very indeed. I think we will. Call it a day then, right? Anything else? Any final comments from Jesse or Anthony?
It's opened up a lot of really interesting things that I hadn't foreseen when originally looking at the score, especially in regard to the gating between the different channels.
Yeah.
Huge deal.
Yeah, it's especially seeing the ways that Hangouts streams based on whether it's a higher or lower frequency. I think that'd be really fun to mess around with.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to look into that more.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's so limited. Like I was saying, that's done server side. It's essentially a black box to us. But
But that doesn't mean that our inputs into it are limited.
no, no. I
I'm
mean,
going to
100.
definitely.
You can like. I mean, you can't like grab the packets and do things with them, but you can like you can imply them to do things by what you put into them. Yeah, I think you're, and I think Jesse's right too. Like the Republican debate thing is like such a great exploration between this piece in particular, pieces like it, and Hangouts in general. It's very exciting. I've always wanted to do something like that. Um, Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in and supporting this. Email, write me with your ideas if you have like half fleshed out ideas. I don't know. We can start like if there's interest in it. Certainly, Matt. Like we could start like some like a short blog series, of like notes or responses to these two sessions that we've had. Um, yeah, and then yeah, that's all I have to say. I gotta run. I gotta move. Everybody have awesome days. Great work, everybody. Thanks for the peeps, Matt. We'll talk soon. I look forward to your email. All right, let's rock and roll.